Peace, brothers and sisters in humanity. Another video. And what I'm going to talk about today is very important. Very, very important. Because apparently what's going on with Palestine and in Palestine, a lot of people started reading the Quran, and I've seen a lot of videos. Listen, people trying to read the Quran and find out what's going on in the Quran. Right? But the thing is, when I read the comments in their channels, I see a lot of Sunnis. Basically, these people, when they read the Quran, they actually understand that the Quran is peaceful. The Quran is really, you can't really criticize the Quran at all. Yeah, but they're reading the Quran, but they're making videos, and then the Sunnis come and the Shia and all these people come in and trying to basically take them away from reading the Quran, but taking them to the Hadiths. They're actually telling them the Quran is not enough, and you have to take the Hadiths as well. And I see some of them wearing scarves. And this lot thinking that wearing the scarves is from the Quran for some reason. Well, there is nowhere in the Quran, right? Nowhere in the Quran, right? God or Allah asked women to cover their heads, to wear a scarf, right? Nowhere in the Quran, nowhere in the Quran. There's two verses that they don't say for women to wear hijab, or to wear niqab, or to wear a burqa, or to wear a scarf. Do you know what I mean? The only thing God said is for women to cover themselves, like cover the bits they're supposed to cover. You understand? And we all know what bits. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't need anyone to tell me what to cover, because I know exactly what to cover. Do you know what I mean? It's in us. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? Some people take it at a different level. That's up to them. But basically, all God asks women not to wear like prostitutes. Don't show their flesh. When I say flesh, I don't mean their hands and their feet and their head, right? I say every woman knows. Do you know what I mean? Basically, dress up, to respect people, to respect you, basically. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't show the bits that attract the wrong people. You know? That's God. That's all what God is saying here in the Quran. So, but I see a lot of women after reverting or converting, whatever they think they're doing, to Islam, they wear a scarf. I mean, because that is very important. Alright? That's very important, because the scarf is not in the Quran. It's in the Sunnah. Alright? It's in the Hadith. It's not even Sunnah, it's Hadith. Stories from the Hadith. It's not from the Quran. And basically what this Sunni is going to do, alright? Take these people who started reading the Quran, not the Bukhari, alright? Most of these people did not start reading the Bukhari, alright? They didn't say like, oh, let's find out what Islam is about, and then they picked up a Bukhari. No, they didn't. Right? They picked up the Quran. Right? And I've seen some of them, they don't even read the Quran, the translation of the Quran. Right? The correct translation, word for word. Right? No, they're reading the explanation of the Quran. And by reading the explanation of the Quran, that means they're actually reading the Bukhari. And the Bukhari is going to tell them things that the Quran does not say. Do you know what I mean? And they're going to tell them that the Bukhari, alright, is the explanation of the Quran. Because most of the explanation in the Quran, or tafsirs, alright, is mixed up with the Bukharis and the Hadiths. Alright? So they're spreading the Sunnis ideology, and the Shia do the same thing with they've got hadiths as well. They explain in the Quran with the hadiths, and see what they're doing. It's just they're adding things to the Quran, a lot of things to the Quran that God didn't ask you to do. what that does makes it difficult for someone to understand Islam. Islam will seem very, very difficult. Like, you have to do this, you have to do this certain time, you have to wash, you have to do this, you have to pray 5 times a day, you have to do this. This is in the Hadith, right? Because in the Quran, the word salat, right, it's nothing to do with what we do now, praying. The Sunnis and the Shia do praying, right? It's nothing to do with it. In the Quran, salat is different. It's contact. It's to follow. It's to follow. It's to practice. It's to make da'wah, ask God for forgiveness and things like that. It's for your relationship with people. That's what salat is in the Quran. But they turned it into 5 times a day. You have to go up at 4 o'clock in the morning and do this, wear a hijab and then wear a niqab and all these crap things that have nothing to do with the Quran. So I advise anyone who's reading the Quran not to read the explanation or interpretation or anything. It has to be a translation, word for word. No add-ons, right? Word for word, right? No explanation at all in the Quran you're going to read, right? Just read the Quran as it's being translated to you from, not from the Sunni lyrics, not from the tafsirs, not from, there's people who translate the Quran now, so just read those books, just word for word translation, right? And do not accept anything outside the Quran. If you accept anything outside the Quran, that means you just lost your way, basically. You just lost your way because you're doing what people tell you, not what your creator's telling you. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you read the Quran, you understand you're not supposed to follow anyone. Do you know what I mean? You're not supposed to have clerics. You're not supposed to have all the other books. All you need is the Quran. Quran is a complete book. Has every details, right? God said, اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. God said in the Quran, today we finished your deen with the Quran. Do you know what I mean? We finished your deen. The only deen you need is from the Quran. All the whatever the you need to know is in the Quran. It's a complete book, right? If you don't believe the Quran is a complete book, that means you don't believe God is. That means God is lying in a way. Do you know what I'm saying? Or he's hiding things. So only practice what's in the Quran. Don't worry about the Sunni, what the Sunnis and the Shia tells you, right? Because you don't have to follow them, right? Because God ain't going to ask you if you follow this, right? Because the Prophet Muhammad wasn't a Sunni. He was following the Quran only. He was practicing the Quran in his daily life. That's what he was doing, right? After he died, and the Sunnah things came up, and the Shia things came up, right? But my only advice is read the correct translation of the Quran and only practice the Quran. Do not be like overwhelmed with people telling you, oh, a million people or 1.5 billion people are all wrong and you're right. Yeah, you are, right? Because if we go about numbers, I'll have to become a Christian because there's more Christians than Muslims, you know what I'm saying? If we have to go by numbers. We are not supposed to go by numbers. We're not supposed to follow the group, the herd. That's all in the Quran. You follow your brain and your instincts, right? That's all you find, your head and your heart. That's all you need to follow. By reading the Quran and practicing the Quran alone, right? You're gonna see and feel different. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's listen to this sister.
I'm American. I'm born American. My family was here in America longer than I've been alive. I'm a converted Muslim. No, I don't want to go back to Christianity. I'm a grown woman. I can make my own decisions. I'm 22, going on 23, and I don't want to go back to Christianity. I dress like this not because I'm oppressed, because I like this. I have confidence, and I'm only trying to impress myself, myself and I, and I do it for the sake of God. Also,
see. She's doing it for the sake of God, which God hasn't asked her to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? God is not going to ask you to wear, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying because, what do you want, because a lot of people go to the extreme. What do you want her to dress like naked or something, half naked? No, that's not what I'm trying to say, no. But the thing is, to say that I'm here to please God, and God didn't ask you to that, you're not pleasing God. You're pleasing someone else. Do you understand that? You're pleasing someone. You do not have to look like an Arab when you come into Islam. You don't have to change your name if you decide Islam is my thing, all right? When I talk about Islam, it's the deen. It's the only deen, all right? It's the only deen. From Adam to today, it's the only deen. It's the only, I don't like calling it religion because religion is a different thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a deen. It's a way of life. Do you know what I'm saying? From the beginning to the end, it's all the same. You know what I'm saying? So, by her saying, like, I'm here to please, I'm not oppressed and all that shit, first of all, she's making excuses, all right? And you should not make any excuses for anyone. As long as you're convinced, all right? There's no excuses, all right? I'm not making an excuse because I am convinced, all right? So you shouldn't have to explain yourself or give any excuses or I'm not oppressed, things that you worry about what other people think. Do not worry about what other people think. Just worry about what your creator thinks of you, basically. Do you know what I'm saying? That's all you have to do. I'm saying, that's all you have to do. And these people are learning from the Sunnis, right? Unfortunately, because they love them. They go there and smother them with information, smother them with hadiths and all this sunnah and all that crap. And this lot, because they're new to the system, they think, 1.5 billion Muslim, they can't be wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just have to follow the herd. So coming out, what she thinks she's coming out from Christianity to Islam, but she's not. She's coming out from Christianity to Sunnism, to Shiism. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's like, you know, from a frying pan to a fire, really. Do you know what I mean? Because I think Sunnis and Shiism are worse. I really are worse. So, let's listen more.
I am not bald under here. I have hair. I don't worship Satan. I worship God 5 times. 5 times is mandatory. 5 times for me to pray to God. And
see? Praying again. I just said that before I heard the video. I promise you, because I've seen other videos are the same. 5 times a day, and you have to pray 5 times a day. Where did she get that from? If she read the Quran only, she will not come up with that. She will not come up with that. That's the hadith. That's not even in the hadith. Can you believe it? The 5 times praying and all the salat exactly, it's none. You won't find it in any hadith, right? All the hadith doesn't tell us how to pray correctly. Actually, some hadiths contradicts others, and you think like, well, these people, like, they've been praying for all this time and they can't even make up their minds in the hadith, right? See, that's why I don't like people to go astray. You know what I'm saying? To leave the Quran and read other books with the Quran, because that's what happens. You become a Sunni without even realizing. You become a Shia without even realizing, or any other sect. So please, just trust in the Quran only, because that's the only word. That's the only book. That's the only message Allah sent. And read the Quran. It talks about one book. It doesn't talk about other books. Actually, it tells you not to follow other books, because this book is good enough. You see, if you really believe in God, you trust in God, you trust in His words, and just practice them, and you feel free after that. And you discover what Islam is all about. What Islam is all about. It's in the Quran alone, man. Please, brothers and sisters, do not follow human beings, man. Do not follow human beings. I don't care if he's a priest, rabbi, imam. No one sent him down. He actually put himself in that position. He's not a prophet. He's not a messenger. He wasn't chosen by the Creator. He actually put himself in there. And they're acting like the prophets and messengers. That's all they are doing. And basically just making people crazy, basically. Feeding them lies about everything. Whether they're Sunnis or Christians or Jews or whatever. There's a lot of misinformation. You know what I'm saying? The message is one. And it's very simple to practice in your life, man. And it makes you a better man. And it keeps you safe. You be safe. By practicing the Quran, you be safe. You won't have any other thoughts. You won't have like a little emptiness in your chest or anything like that. Where you think you're not complete. You think you could do... No, you be complete. Basically. And once you start practicing the Quran, you be a complete person. You will not need anything else. You will know why you're here. Do not read or believe that there is other books with the Quran. Believe and trust in Allah. Trust in the Creator. That's all. Peace out.